Phase 5 is all about teaching the children alternative graphemes for the sounds that they already know. This means teaching alternative spellings for the diagraphs and trigraphs that have been previously been taught. So before we revisit these sounds, children, these are the phonemes that you already know. You already know these sounds, they just look different. They are the alternative spellings, the different ways of writing them down. So let's have a look now at the Phase 5 sounds. A, O, E, W, U, or U. E, I, O, O, ow, oi, U or U, split A, split E, split I, split O, split U or split U. So now we're going to go through some example words with these alternative spellings, the alternative graphemes in them. A as in crayon, ow as in cloud, I as in tie, E as in beads, oi as in boy, as in girl, U as in glue, U as in cue, or as in saw, wh as in whistle, f as in elephant, U as in pew, or U as in screw, O as in toe, or as in haunted, E as in monkey, split A as in snake, split E as in concrete, split I as in slide, split O as in bone, split U as in flute, or split U as in cube. As you can see from the examples just given and the alternative spellings on these 2 pages, the English language is very complicated. Eventually, as children progress throughout the school and begin to learn the different spelling patterns, children begin to choose the appropriate graphemes to represent the phonemes and begin to build word-specific knowledge of the spellings of words. It must always be remembered that phonics is just the step up to word recognition. Automatic reading of all words, decodable and tricky, is the ultimate goal. In Phase 5, children are introduced to 9 new tricky words. Tricky words are those words which cannot be sounded out easily. They are common words that have complex spellings in them. The only way these words can be read and spelt correctly is by learning them by sight and having plenty of practice. And here are the Phase 5 high-frequency words, with the 9 tricky words marked with a yellow dot by them. Please note that some of the other words that were tricky in the earlier phases now become fully decodable in Phase 5. Let's have a go at reading some of these tricky words now. Asked, called, could, looked, Mr, Mrs, oh, people, there, Today we're going to focus on split diagraphs. A split diagraph is a diagraph that is split by a consonant. Usually this is a long vowel sound. A, E, I, O, U, or U. Today I had a go at writing the word time. Let's sound it out. T, I, time. Now it sounds right, but it's not the correct spelling. Words like this are written slightly differently and we need to use the split diagraph. Let's have a look. Here we've got T, I, and you can see the split with the sound loop here. I also had a go at writing the word pine. Let's sound it out. P, I, pine. It sounds right, doesn't it? But again, that's not how you spell it. We need to use the split diagraph. Let's take a look. P, I, pine. And here we've got a, k, make. B, I, k, bike. F, E, s, these. H, O, home. With this split diagraph, it can have two different pronunciations. U, as in oo, rule, or U, as in tube, tube. Let's have a go now at practicing some of the sounds that we've recapped today by reading some sentences. Here's our first one. Look at there's a tricky word and it's in a box because sometimes drawing a box round the tricky words helps us remember the shape of the words. Look at the waves at her eye. 3 letters, 1 sound there. We've got a trigraph. Look at the waves at high tide. Remembering we've got a capital letter at the start of our sentence and a full stop so we know we've finished our sentence. Look at the waves at high tide. You can see the waves there crashing at high tide. And here's our second sentence, and starting with a capital letter, also starting with a tricky word that we can just read. The sack. Her had a huge. The sack had a huge hole in it. The sack had a huge hole in it. And there's that huge hole in the sack. And our last sentence today, before I set a little activity for you to do at home. Again, starting with a tricky word that we can just read. Tricky word, I had. Another tricky word, to. I had to. Eat. Complete. I had to complete. These. sums. I had to complete these sums. Lots of sums there for somebody to complete, to finish them. Here is an activity that I'd like you to have a go completing at home. As you can see, there are lots of different pictures. Also at the top, you've got the 5 different split diagraphs of O, E, U or U, A and I. And what you have to do is you have to look very carefully at the pictures. We can see that the first picture in the top left-hand corner is a picture of a bone, and it's in that O split diagraph column. So in that empty space next to the picture of the bone, you have to try and write the word bone. Now, some of these pictures are a little bit tricky to work out what they are. So that's why I'm sending the answer sheet to the grown-ups. So if you're a bit unsure what the picture is of, then get the grown-up to tell you what the word is, and then you can try to write it. You can also try to add the sound buttons, the sound loops for the split diagraphs, and any sound lines for the diagraphs or the trigraphs that are in these words. I hope you enjoyed this phonics video today and both the children and parents found it useful. Bye for now.